This is why I do it every time because sometimes there are issues or I forget that my thing is on mute. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello and welcome to Kermaco Designworks. Welcome to ZBrush Live, and this is going to be hard surface and character design. Hopefully you can hear me now. Okay, good. The old man, Yold man, is saying that he can hear me okay. That's great. So your likes are appreciated. Subscribe, leave a comment, and if you have questions you can ask in the chat during the stream. And if you're watching this afterwards, because all of these are recorded and you can watch all of them after the fact, you can always leave your question in the comments, and hopefully somebody will get back to you from Maxon. Okay, with that, if you can hear me okay, so that's better. I guess YouTube is good. If anybody from Twitch can let me know if you can hear me, we can go ahead and get started. Right, so we are April 26th today, Alien Day, I guess, and I was contemplating, I am working on an alien, on another project. I was contemplating, doing that today instead of this. But I don't know. I think I'm going to stick to this unless I get an overwhelming demand in the chat to do the alien instead. So let's see. There's about 93 people watching. So hopefully some of you have opinions. And if you do, please holla. All right. So what piece is this? Do we need this piece? I did a little bit of scene cleanup. I guess we don't. All right, so I did a little bit of scene cleanup and a little bit of naming, not complete, but getting there. Yep. And let's see here, a bunch of builders here, which I could probably copy over to another. Let me do this. Let me rename this folder to builders 2, and select the folder. That, and copy folder, and then go over to the builders. I am doing this while I'm waiting for somebody from Twitch to let me know that you can hear me okay, and we can get going. And I think there's a whole other, is this it? No, is this it? No, this is the main one. Is this it? Builders, yep, it is. Okay, so let's go over up to here. I guess I could put it here, and down here we go, paste folder. All right, there we go. Bam, 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 bam. All those pieces that are in the builders folder are going into this tool. There they are, and I can just go ahead and delete the folder, so that basically just puts them in there. Okay, very good. Going back to our object here, and I'm just going to delete all just to clear up some room, and undoable operation. Okay, all right, so here we go. We are back on track, and selected these planes, which I don't want to do in the background. All right, here we go. All right, so we're coming along nicely. The helmet is almost done. And we're getting, very close to being done with the modeling. I think maybe today, hopefully, we'll be done with that. And then I'll kind of tease a little bit what I'm going to do next time. And the next time is going to be mostly texturing, and maybe after that, doing the render. The posing first, take it into character designer, and then doing the render. I don't think I'm going to do a scene. I think I'm just going to be a character render. So here he is with all of his glory. I'm showing one of the suits that he's got, the jumpsuits. He's got 3. So this is the second one. This is the one we kind of have been seeing. And then there's a third one, which is the Maxon noise one, which is kind of neat as an option. So yeah, we'll kind of see which one we want to go with. But it's always good to kind of have 3. If this was a game, these would be skins of sorts, maybe. Who knows? Okay, I still haven't heard from anybody from Twitch. There's 125 people watching, so hopefully somebody on Twitch is hearing me and seeing the screen. And if you are, please in the chat let me know, and we can get going. All right. Adjust my pen display here. All right, just kind of seeing what I need to do here. I think this piece right here could do a little bit of fine tuning, specifically in this area. What's the geometry in this? Oh, it's still Dynamesh. Okay, so let's get this into a, and I'm going to be UVing some of these things as I go along today, just because I am going to be applying textures to them. So, all right, so the first I want to get this shape, but I want to have multiple subdivision levels. And the way I do that is I'm going to go over here and find it, which is over here. It's called Extract 2. I guess this would be a good time to rename it. Chin piece. Okay, and then also, let me kind of scroll this back down so I can see my brush. Here we go. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do here is duplicate it. Okay, so I've got a copy of it. And what I'm going to do with this duplicate is I'm just going to first make sure symmetry is on. It is. And then I'm just going to ZBrush it. And I'm just going to use the basic default settings for ZBrush. Let's see what we get. All right, there it is. That's what we get. And actually, it's pretty amazing what it was able to do. All right, so now I can just go ahead and subdivide this a few times. Let's go about 4 times. And I'm using Control D for that. And then what I want to do is I want to project the old one onto the new one. So let's just do that very quickly here by unselecting all the tools and just selecting these two guys. If I unsolo it, I should be able to see them. And you can kind of see the difference between the two. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go over to Project and say Project All. And so now I have most of the newer topology projected onto the old one. And I'm just going to solo that and turn off polyframe to see what I'm getting. And the quality is pretty good. I think I could use one more subdivision level and one more project. Okay, and then I don't need the old one anymore, so I'm just going to get rid of it, select, and goodbye. Delete. Okay. Always a good idea to check and make sure you're deleting the right thing. And then I'm just going to rename this to chin piece. Okay, so now I need to make some adjustments over here, and I can do that easily in the lower subdivision levels. So Shift D all the way down, go to my move brush, and just, oh, not move brush, and just move this over a bit. So it's kind of like a tube of sorts. Right, and then let's go up in subdivision levels. So the upper subdivision levels, of course, will remember some of that older shape. If you guys can excuse me for just a minute. Okay, so we've got somebody coming in from Facebook. Hello, I'm doing great, thank you. How are you? And just a second here, I'll be right back. I need to take care of something very quickly. I'll be right back. Okay, back. And all right, so I just need to do a few adjustments here, and I want to make sure that I bring up everything else just to make sure that I'm not really wasting time on parts that aren't going to show. Okay, so these are going to show. I did see them earlier. And I inadvertently turned on these planes again. Don't need to do that. And yeah, here we go. So I just need to fix this a little bit here. And these are just kind of a little bit, kind of maybe little oxygen tanks or something like that. And let's go in here and delineate them a little bit more. So again, I've got a lot of subdivision levels to play with, but it's always good to do a lot of these things kind of on the lower subdivision levels if you can. That's a bit too much. we go. All right, so now I know basically the bottom part, this is what I'm seeing. So I'm going to solo this again and just get this to be a little bit more defined. And another thing I can also do is do this in transparency mode, where I'm basically just sculpting through everything else, so I know what I'm seeing and what I'm not. And do kind of a brief outline of this. And turn transparency off, solo it again. Let's have a little bit of an outline for that pipe. There we go. Solo it again. All right. How's everybody's week going? It's great that it's the weekend, and as you can see, it is spring, so it's nice in LA. It's really beautiful. And yeah. Right, go up one subdivision level, smooth this out. Okay, and I'm just kind of checking the silhouette of this just to make sure it's good. It's trying to take on this kind of more of a bean shape, and I don't want that. I just want it to be like a pill shape. Now, one thing I can do here, and maybe I should do that. Let me try it, see if, because it'll just get it to be more accurate. One of the things I can do here is I can pop in a shape. No, it's not worth it. It's close enough, and also it's down kind of below where, I mean, it's not a very visible area, so I don't really need to nitpick. Now, if this was something that I was going to 3D print as a collectible, I would probably spend more time getting it more refined, but I think this is good enough for now. And here I just want to kind of define this line here a little bit more. And put in a little shape there and break up this a little bit as well. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think that's good. All right, so one thing I want to do here while I'm at it is I'm going to go down to the lowest subdivision level on this guy, and I'm just going to go over here and UV master it real quick, or UV it. And UV Master will work really well for this, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on Unwrap. And let's solo that out, and let's see what it did. It should be fine. Hopefully it didn't put a seam right in the middle of the thing. Let's do more time. Okay, and a good way to check your UVs or to apply a texture to it. So I'm just going to apply a texture map real quick just to see if where the seams are. It looks like it's fine. I mean, the distribution of it is fine, and the seams seem to be on the inside. The ZBrush did a great job. Again, just one button. So cool. And done. All right, so I'll just go all the way to up in subdivision levels, and we're done with this piece. And so, yeah. I wish there was a way I could just kind of mention that this piece was done. There isn't a specific way in ZBrush, but I have a way of doing it, and that is by going into these V's. And I'll take the last one. I'll take number 8. And in number 8, what I'll do is I'll just turn on the ones that are done with UVs. Okay, so this one is done. So I'll move it back to here. And let's go ahead and take a look at everything else. All right, so that piece is looking much better. Now I did do some work. Oh, I inadvertently turned on all of the other outfits, which we don't need to do. Let's go ahead and turn those off. Jumpsuits, no and no. Oh, no, yes. Let's have this one. It's kind of lighter. I mean, I could do either one. I could do this one too, but the first one is, or the second one is lighter. Actually, I should just move this up. It'll be easier to spot. And then, let's see. Okay, I'm not viewing any of the stuff I don't want to view. Okay. Great. So the helmet is looking pretty much complete. I was working on this thing off screen a little bit. There was this other piece down here, which I didn't think was necessary, but I'm working on this one. So let me look at and see what I can do with it. And this is really very low resolution. You can see here. If I turn polyframe on for it, you can see it's just a very, very low resolution piece. And so I want to go to, and I think it's also, it's dynamic. So it's not even, it's just this. It's just this piece. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the dynamic subdivision on this. And I'm going to change the offset to that. Let's see what that looks like. Nope, didn't want to do that. I think it was good where it was at 0. And thickness is fine. Let's go ahead and apply that. So now I've got geometry, and I want to go ahead and insert an edge loop over here, like so. And let's solo this out for a minute. And what I want to do is Q-mesh these two. So I'm just using the Alt key to just select those specific two things. And did I turn local off? I did. Right, and I'm going to inset it, but I want to create a kind of another edge loop here to limit that, and I probably want to do that one in the back as well. And then just move these in like that. This is what I want, yep. And then I'm going to do a similar thing in the back. Like so, right? And I could probably do that with these guys as well. Again, let's do them all at once. Somehow I added an extra edge loop going this way, which I didn't mean to do. Okay, there it is. Right, that's good. Do that. And then do I want to do that with these two also? Let's see how it looks. All right. Again, I'm trying to keep this as low poly as I can, and I think that worked fine. And then I'm just going to do some manual subdivision before I subdivide it, just to kind of create some extra divisions. So I'm going to do one here, do one here. So I just, again, want to get as close to square polygons as I can, and I think this is good enough. I'm just going to add one here as well. And so it's kind of hard to stop doing this because you kind of do it in one area and then the other area needs it. So here we go. Okay, I think that's good enough. And then if I go to subdivide, I'm going to turn smooth off for the first one and then turn smooth on and do a couple of subdivisions, and I get these nice kind of curved surfaces. And there it is. All right, so that piece is done. Okay, same story as the previous one. I'm just going to take that down to subdivision level 1 and unwrap it. Okay, and then let's see what that looks like. I'm not even going to do the morph target here. I'm just going to go ahead and put the texture on it just to see what it looks like, and it looks like it looks okay. I mean, it kind of puts seams here, which I wish it didn't, but I don't know if that's going to matter too much. Let me solo this out. Okay, so I kind of don't want it to do that, so I think that's because I have polygroups on here. I'm going to turn polygroups off and redo it. Okay, now it's better. However, it's kind of at an angle, so I can fix that. And the way I would do that is I will just go ahead and, first of all, I'm going to turn symmetry off, and I'm going to, well, I guess it doesn't matter if I have symmetry on. And I'm going to go ahead and flatten these out. Subdivision levels. Use work on clone, copy, paste, UV system. Okay, let's do that. All right, so I'm just going to work on clone. There it is. And what we're going to do here is flatten. Okay, so this is kind of what they're looking like. And what I could do here is I can just go ahead and use the gizmo to rotate these. By turning symmetry off first, I can just rotate these UVs like that to have these be kind of more along the lines of the... Okay, and then I'm just going to do this, mask these parts. All right, and then I'm just going to do the same thing over to this guy over here. Oh, got a piece masked over here. All right. And rotated this way. Of course, I probably could do this a lot better, but let's try and see how this works. Okay, so that's good. Unflatten these. Okay, so now I can see that I've got the UVs going in the direction I want them to, which is great. So I'm just going to copy these UVs, and then I'm working on a clone here. And what that does basically is it just creates its own little different tool here. So what I'm going to do is go back to my model, which is this one, and I'm going to paste the UVs, and there we go. That works. And I don't really need this clone anymore. I'm just going to go ahead and delete it. Okay, there it goes. Scared me there for a minute, but yeah, this is exactly what I want as far as the UVs are concerned. I've got my subdivision levels and I've got my UVs. So then I just go over to my V8 just to indicate that this is another piece that I have completed. And where are you in this mess? There you are. Okay, so that's another piece that's done. Let's go over to the rest of the model. All right, and I'm not going to do all these UVs individually, just to let you know. I'll probably do some of them, and some of them I'll just use auto UVs or something else to do the UVing. So yeah. All right, and I'm going to change my background here to be a little bit darker so you can kind of see my model better. And I don't know why it got lighter all of a sudden. Oh, because it chose skin shade 4. So let's go to basic material 2 here, get a little bit of that specular going. Right, and texture off. Okay. Oh, why did this stay white? Is my question. Oh, it's not selected. No, it is. So, does it have material on or something? It does. Okay. All right, so that piece is done. Let's see here. Pretty much everything else is done on the helmet. I think I'm pretty happy with the way it looks. Okay, so helmet done. Let's see. I can probably do a little bit of detailing on this back kind of tank that he's got. And let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is still a Dynamesh piece. All right, so we're going to do the exact same thing where we're going to ZBrush it. And for this one, I'm not really going to duplicate it and reproject it because I think Dynamesh will do this right. So here, I'm just going to go ahead and activate symmetry. I don't really care about the polygroups of it. And just for kicks, I'm going to mirror and weld it so it's the same on both sides. And then I'm going to ZBrush it. Let's go ahead and do the same. Let's see what we get. That's pretty good, but I kind of want to see if I can get it to respect these kind of angles. So I'm going to try something here. Let's see if this is going to work. I'm going to go to polygroups, and I'm going to group by normals. Maybe choose a different angle. Let's see. Let's go to 25. Groups by normals. No. Let's go even less. Okay. No, I think it's not going to do it. Okay. All right. So another thing I could do is I could mask and group it, but I'm not even going to do that. I'm going to try one other thing here. And if that works, then we're good. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and with ZBrush, I'm going to choose detect edges. No, I don't care about groups at this point, and I'm going to double the number of polygons. Let's see what we get. All right. I mean, the topology is still not perfect, but it's good enough. Okay, so I'm just going to subdivide it once, maybe twice, and I think that's good. And I'm going to try something here a little bit just to sharpen some of these edges. Sometimes this works well and sometimes it doesn't, so I'll just give it a try. I'm going to go to clay polish, maybe add an edge of 1 and hit it with a clay polish. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. I don't think it's doing much, so let's undo all that. Okay. Now that we've got it at level 3, I'm going to do one more ZBrush at half. Let's see what we get. All right, this is taking a little bit longer than I'd like. Hopefully it's going to come back soon. Here we go. All right. Okay, so we got pretty dense topology here. Let's ZBrush it at half. This should take less time, and then the next time should even take less. I don't want it to be this dense, for sure, but I do want this shape. Okay, so ZBrush it one more time. Right, and I'm going to try one other thing here. This is a trick that might work, is just add, solo this again, and just add, I'm not able to sculpt on this thing. Hello. Okay, here we go. So sometimes this works, is if you just add, using Damien Standard, add like some arbitrary extra edges like this. Oh. Start, hold shift down, press alt, go all the way to here. Okay, and then like that. All right, let's see if this does any better. I just want some loops along these lines. Let's see if it adds them. Kind of does. Yeah, that worked. So now I can just smooth these back down, and I have a little bit better topology along the lines of what I want. I saw this trick at a ZBrush summit once, and it kind of works, kind of doesn't, but better than before, for sure. All right, so now I'm going to go to H-polish and just get my planes back for this. And I think this is better done if it doesn't have polyframe on. All right. Domsy cares. Thanks. FF. Hi, bro. Hello. I wonder if our decade is going to be defined by the word bro. It's definitely the word of the decade for sure. All right, so there it is. And I don't even need anything by it. Thank you for your hello and welcome. All right, so I think this is pretty good right here. And now that we have this, I'm going to go ahead and let's take a look at this. I'm going to try and ZBrush this one level lower, because this is a lot of geometry. There we go. That is perfect. I've got these curves coming down this way. I wish I had one going here, but I don't have it, but it doesn't matter. I'm just going to subdivide this a couple of times. There they are. And I will just very carefully kind of define these edges a little bit more. But I do have geometry now, and let's go ahead and import some alphas in here and just put some alphas on here. That'll make it look a lot better. Right, so this is going to take me a minute. Sorry, I'm not doing this on screen just because there's a lot going on. Okay, alphas and here, and let's go to the Kiosk Masons. Alphas are pretty nice. And I'm just going to go ahead, and I should make a list of these that I use all the time instead of picking a bunch of them every time, because I always pick the similar ones. Let's pick some round ones. All right, let's just open these ones. I think we got a few here, and let's start out with this one right here. Okay, and let me choose my brush that I use for these guys. Oh. Sorry about that. Okay, so the brush I use for these is this one right here, drag alpha, and let's choose the alpha for it. Let's do this one. Let's see what that gives us. Okay, what about if we go this way? All right, so that's good. All right, this is a good place for this, right here. Okay, it looks like I could use one more subdivision level, so I'm just going to add it. Okay, let's bring this back up. And that's a good place for one of those. Let's try and see if this would be a good place for it as well. Yep. Perfect. Like just about there. All right, there it is. And that looks good like that. And while I'm at it, let's do one here. Cool. All right, let's choose a different one. How about this guy? And no. It's kind of funky. How about this one? I mean, doubles up, pulls it in, but this kind of works with what's there, so that's okay. That's good. And then just a few of these always makes things look better. Let's choose this one. I need to change the mid value to 50 on this one. Nope. 100? No. It's kind of a weird gray. Okay, forget this one. We'll do a different one. How about we do this one right here? It's not as sharp. Let's pick one that's sharper. How about this guy? Here we go. That's what I want. That works. Then anywhere else, maybe do another one down here. Now, probably I should do these the same size, but I don't think it's going to matter as much. Well, that's kind of an interesting thing that just happened. Do I keep it? No. All right, so that's good like that. And I think that is all I'm going to do for this one. Maybe another one of these guys here. I don't know. I'm deciding whether or not to do it yet. No. How about here? Yeah, I think that works. All right, so that's that. All right, same story with it. Let's just take it all the way down to subdivision level 1, which kind of makes these a little bit funky, but doesn't matter. And let's turn symmetry on. It is on. UV master, where are you? Unwrap. And let's see what that looks like with Morph UV just for kicks. Okay, that looks okay. And let's pop a texture map on there. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect. All right, so go all the way up in subdivision level. That looks good. That looks great. Okay, same story. Turn the texture off. Go to V4, V8 here. And make that visible as well. So here you can see that only the things that are UV'd are visible in this V8. And eventually, you know, everything will be there, but for now we are good. Okay, so the back thing is done. I think I want to do a few details on these packs that he's got, like these things over here, and maybe a little bit more detail on this. How is this looking? I think this is looking fine. I don't think I need to do anything there. And I'm going to probably UV all these things, but I'm not going to do all these. I mean, I've done a couple, so you guys get the idea of what's going on. FF is from Bangladesh. Okay, well, awesome. Hello, good to have you here with us. All right, so this one has got some really nice polygroups, so UVing will be great. I'm just going to do it right now while I'm at it. So I'm going to choose polygroups, unwrap, and it should happen pretty fast. There it is. And I am going to go to, where are you? Texture map. Let's pop a texture on there. There it is. That looks good enough. Okay, texture off. Okay, and I'm going to go here and is this dynamic? It is. So I'm just going to apply that dynamic subdivision. That adds 3 subdivision levels. I'm just going to add a 4th. And let's see what an alpha on this looks like. Okay, it's actually pretty good. Okay. Right, so let's say there's something here like that. It's amazing how just a little detail like that makes the thing look, you know, more credible. There we go. And then I'm going to do one more down here. And again, for this, I'm going to use drag dot. So now this is going to be the size of my brush. So I just need to choose a size of a brush here. And if I hold Control down, actually, sorry, that's incorrect. Okay, so here, if I hold Control down, this should lock it to what's going on. It's not working. Right, come on then. All right, so if I hold Control, it should lock the size. All right, or is it Alt? No, I think it is Control. All right, it seems like I'm going to have to eyeball it. I think I'm thinking of IMM brushes, so it's not that hard to do. Here's one. Also, I think the intensity is way too high on this. Let's drop it down to maybe about 45 or so. Here we go. There's one, and then let's add the other one. Actually, it's going to be really difficult to add the other one there. I think I'm just going to stick with that right there. I think that's good enough. And I'm just going to put some other alpha there. I'm going to get some more alphas. See if there's an interesting one. I think this one might work. Maybe this one too. Let's try maybe this one, and one more, this one. Okay. All right, so I'm going to start maybe trying out one of these guys over here. I don't want it to be rounded, so I'm going to change the focal shift down. Although it's making it look like speakers, so that's not going to work. Let's try one of these guys. Let's try one of these guys, but the other way. Sometimes these are interesting if you add them at a corner with a bend like this. Nope. All right, so that's not doing it for me. Let's try and see what one of these does. No. No, I don't think the round thing is going to work. All right, last attempt. Yeah, this will work. All right, yep, it does, but again, intensity is too much, so let's drop it down to about 28. There. All right. Again, sometimes subtlety does more than anything else, so let's let it autosave. All right. That's somebody from Nigeria. That's amazing. Whitespace Creatorverse. How to learn hard surface and organic modeling together in ZBrush. Are there any courses? There are really millions of courses. I mean, probably not millions, but there's a lot of ZBrush courses out there. I mean, tons of them. I have a few. If you want to learn the way I do it, I guess I'll do my little advertising section now. If you go to Gnomon Workshop and look for my name, so just go to, oh my gosh, let's see, let's close all these things for now. So if you go to thegnomonworkshop.com and you browse by instructor and you find me, R.I. Kermaco, right here, you can see that I've got 2 courses, and one of them is 3D scan retopology. But I mean, this is kind of nice if you're working with 3D scans, etc., and characters. But the one I recommend for you is this one right here, which is designing a piloted combat mech. And this one is mostly hard surface, so this kind of gives you the hard surface idea. And then if you want to learn about organic, I mean, I guess you could look at this one too. But on the Gnomon Workshop, there are tons of other artists. So if you go to browse by category and software and ZBrush, you'll see that they have quite a few ZBrush tutorials. Right, so you kind of look through here and find the types of things you want to create, and you can create those kinds of things. And these tutorials are really, really good for these specific purposes. Okay, so there's that. Is my other one in here? It's not. I should let them know. Or did I just skip it? Maybe there's more than one page. Oh no, that's on top. So yeah, I would definitely recommend going here. Of course, you can always look for stuff on YouTube, but then you know, who knows what you will get. Oh yeah, there's mine. It was just on the second page. All right, so that's one way of finding out. And then of course there's other places you can go to as well. There's a lot of training companies, there are schools. So yeah, hopefully that helps. All right, coming back to this fellow, I'm gonna do something with these guys right here. I kind of like the way this came out over here, so let me see. Yeah. And what's the resolution on these guys? Are they dynamic subdivision? No, they're not. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to my H-polish, and I'm going to try and get, I guess I need one more subdivision level to make this work right. And I'm going to do this kind of imprint here as well, which kind of works like the one in the middle. That's good. And then these guys over here, I think I'm going to stamp an alpha on them. Oh, that's what's happening. That's why it's weird. Okay, let's just turn the alpha off. This will be better. Here we go. I don't know if I'm doing too much to, yeah, that shape is pretty good. I don't really need to do that much of it, just maybe like a little piece. Here we go, that does it, perfect. Okay, so let's go back to my alpha brush, and let's pick one of these square alphas, this one, and let's make this a little bit more defined. Like that. Okay, that's good. Now this part right here is kind of a rubberized material, so it's good the way it is. It's good the way it is down here. That's all good. I guess I could work a little bit on this cod area. What's going on with this guy? What's the resolution? Okay, looks like it's dynamic. Let's apply it. Okay, that's, well, actually, before we apply it, let's go ahead and UV it. So I'm going to solo this out. Unwrap, and let's see what it did. You can see the unwraps go really fast if you have low level geometry. And here, let's bring in the texture. So I unwrapped this. It's kind of jumbled up because again I used polygroups. I don't need to do that. I'll do this now. This is perfect. Well, more or less. I don't like the seam that's going on this way. So let's do it one more time. And let's use this. Okay, so I don't know why it's putting a seam right here. Is it doing it for both or just one? For just one. All right, so let me solo this out. I like what's going on here, so I'm going to use this trick, which is turn off symmetry, do this, Control A, delete hidden, and then mirror and weld the other side, and it should have the same type of UVs. And let's try this. Nope, it wants to do it that way. I don't know why. Okay, let's see what the UVs look like. Sorry, this isn't going to be a UV session, but oh, what the hell? Oh, because dynamic is on. All right, that's what's going on. Why isn't it just mirroring the UVs? I don't get it. Unwrap. Something weird going on with this piece right here. All right, let's go back to it and morph it back together. Yeah, something is strange with this piece. All right, so let's take a look and see if it's okay from a geometry perspective. Check mesh. Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Let's turn this texture off. It looks fine. I don't know what the deal is with it. Is there any other thing? No. Okay. Unwrap. Okay, texture back on. Yeah, I think for some reason, yeah, some very strange stretching and stuff is going on down below here. But let's go ahead and do a dynamic subdiv real quick and see if there's any problems with this mesh. I don't see any. Okay, so I'm going to do something really safe here by, let's do a zero mesh. And let's keep the, let's go to double and let's keep the groups. Let's see what we get. What the? Yeah, something is up with this guy. I don't know what it is. All right, what if I dynamesh this thing? And let's go ahead and give it 512 resolution. And see if that creates something interesting. Okay, that was okay. Let's take it up even higher, dynamesh. Okay, and now let's zero mesh it. No. Okay. I think I'm going to apply this dynamic subdivision and then I'm going to zero mesh it. Let's see what we get. Okay, that's better. That's much, much better. All right, so now I'm just going to make this one polygroup. That is the shape that we want, I think. Yep, it is. And so now I am going to unwrap it. This is going to take much longer because the resolution is high, but let's see what we get. I don't know why it thinks we have polygroups. We don't. I think I'm just going to try and see if I can escape out of this or let it do its thing. Okay. Come on now. Yeah, you don't want to unwrap something that is this heavy. Let's see, it's 143,000 points. So which means each one of them is about 70,000 points. It did it, let's see what a texture looks like just for kicks. All right, so not very good. Texture off, and let's zero mesh this, but at half. Should happen pretty fast. One more time. I'm going to take this all the way back to when it had polygroups. Sorry. Okay, let's go back to here. Let's go back to this. Okay, so this is kind of our basic shape. I'm just going to go ahead and take a look, see if there's anything going on inside of this thing. Doesn't look like it. Looks fine. I don't know what the deal is with it. Okay, so I'm just going to turn dynamic off and I'm going to unwrap it this way. Let's unwrap it with polygroups. Let's see what we get. UV map, morph UV. All right, that's okay. I think I'm just going to accept this. So I'm just going to go ahead and go back to dynamic and accept it. Apply. And the UVs should still be there. They are. And then let's see what texture would look like on this. Yeah, it's so weird. Like, I don't know what's happening over here. That's very, very strange. Okay, so what if I just turn off symmetry? A lot of troubleshooting, folks. How about that? Delete this one, delete hidden. Oh, yeah. Delete higher. Sorry. and delete hidden. Okay, and weld. Okay, I think this did it right here. Okay, so we're out of our problem, and this is good. And now I can just subdivide it a couple of times. Let's see what that looks like on the whole model without a texture. It looks okay. I can do a little bit of more work on this piece. Now that I have this now that I have this resolution on it, I can maybe add a little cut in over here. Make sure symmetry is on. Right. Okay, that's good. And then I'm just going to go back to my alpha brush. I'm going to just add one more subdivision to this guy. And let's go to the alpha brush here. And let's add some details. I think I can add, let's see, what would look good there. How about one of these guys? Oh. I don't know what this is, but let's see, maybe. Yeah, here we go. This, but like that. Here we go. It kind of went over to the other side because I don't have backface masking, and it creates something interesting, but I don't know if that's going to work. But if we just do this. Yeah, that's okay. That works. And then another detail over here, not the same piece, but let's see if one of these does anything here. Something like that. Yep, that works. All right, I got to do something with this. It's kind of a neat little detail, but it's not working by itself, so I need to maybe cut in here a little bit. All right. Okay, that is much better. That piece is done, and also that piece is UV'd, so we can go ahead and add it to our list. V8, and where are you? Right there. Okay. All right, let's continue our exploration here. I could do something with these guys. They don't show up very much, so I don't really need to do that much. Maybe give them a couple of subdivision levels here. And let's go ahead and add some alphas. Let's try and see if this works on this one. Nope. Did not work. Okay, so let's see if a round thing might work on there. Kind of breaks the silhouette. It's not bad. Right, let's say that's a start, and then let's see if I can get, let me see if there's other round alphas that might work in there. Maybe this one. Okay, that works. Like maybe something attaches to those. All right, that's good. And then these pieces over here, let's do something with these guys as well. Let me look at this. Okay, this does have subdivisions already. Let me add one more. And then we'll add some alphas to this. Let's see, questions? No questions. It's a very quiet, oh my gosh, there's so many people watching today, but it's a very quiet group. Thank you for tuning in live, everybody that's on. I think I've got a record number of people on today, which is great. Make sure that you go and like the stream if this is something that's useful to you. And I keep doing this. When I use Control to select alphas, I inadvertently duplicate them, which is not what I plan on doing. Second here, ZBrush alphas. Right. That should do it. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that. Okay, so questions, no questions. So I can talk about what I've been watching. I watched Fallout. That was really good. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the series, but I had the game. I bought it, but it was at a busy time with work. So I never played it. But I heard a lot of great things about it. And so I went in with like zero expectations, and actually it was really, really good. The show was great. Highly recommend it. And right, that looks okay. I kind of don't want to do anything with this bend because it's kind of a nice feature. I think that's good. All right, let's do some stuff with this area right here. Oh, okay, it's just a cod piece. Does it have thickness? It does. Does it need it? Let's see. Oh, this is still Dynamesh, is it? No, it's okay. How do I peel off the front part of this without the back part being affected? I guess I could inflate it. And what else did I watch? I finished watching Shogun. That was really good too. So 2 really amazing series. I binged watched Fallout, and Shogun, I watched it, you know, since it started. It was so good. Sean, you're asking if I make these alphas or I get them? These ones are ones that I got, and you can get those from Kiosk Masons. They're pretty good. Let me find. I'll put a link here in the chat for you guys. But yeah, it's this one. It's $3, and it's worth every one of those dollars. Okay, so I'm just going to put it in the chat, and I'll show it to you guys. But yeah, it's this library right here. But I have a lot of alphas. I mean, I tend to use these ones a lot because they're really good. But yeah, Kiosk Masons, and if you get a chance, you should watch Marco's streams too. He does some amazing stuff. So this is the alpha set that I'm using, and you can kind of see some of the parts that I used are in here. And it's $3, and like I said, it's well worth it. And while you're at it, you might want to pick up my my website is kermaco.com. If you guys want to see some of my other works, they're all here. Most of these, if not all of them, are ZBrush. And also on Gumroad, I have a brush set that you can get. I've got a pro version and a basic version. The basic version is free. The pro version is $5. And if you want to find out where that is, it's just kermaco.gumroad.com. So kermaco.gumroad.com. And if you forget, you can always go to my Instagram, which is Kermaco, Kermaco, and I post a lot of stuff here. So here's something I'm working on, which is an ornithopter from Dune. I'm working on my own version of it, and I'm going to have a tutorial of it, and it's going to be free, and it's going to be yeah, well, I'll talk more about it as the time comes. But anyway, so this was from a recent trip to Japan. I went and visited the Gundams, etc. So you can look at all my stuff here on my Instagram. You can you know, follow me if you want to see what I'm doing, and also if you click on this link right here, it's my link tree, and that links you to all of my stuff. So my ArtStation, my Instagram, my YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, all that stuff. And this is where the Gumroad is. So if you click on Gumroad, you'll go to my page, and the Gumroad page, and you can download the free one. And if you want to buy the one that has the extra parts, so this one has 17, this one has 36, and they're pretty useful. I use them all the time, so I thought I'd do a little plug there for myself. Okay, so I think this thing is Dynamesh still, so I'm going to try and see if I can ZBrush it. And to do that, I want to kind of get rid of this back part. Now, I'm going to turn backface mask off, or on, sorry. And I'm going to try masking the front here. And hopefully the back won't be masked. Looks like some of it was, but let's see if I can get rid of that. Yeah, this is going to be hard to do. All right. So I'm going to use a trick to do this. And again, these are all kind of more advanced tricks. I don't want to re-Dynamesh it. But what I want to do here is I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to ZBrush it. Okay, so ZBrush should give me edge loops, and hopefully it gave me one that goes around it. I'm being very hopeful here, but I don't know for sure. So a good way to find out is to go into ZModeler, polygroup, polyloop, and let's drop a polygroup right there. So that's going around. It's kind of cutting into here, so that's not going to work. Let's see if I can do another one. Maybe a little more in. Let's see. Okay, so I think that's good enough. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fill the front with a different polygroup. So fill, polygroup fill, oops, like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select this, delete hidden. Oh no, before I do that, I'm just going to grow this out. And there is a, I think it's Control Shift S and Control Shift X, I think will do these. So let's see if, yep, X will grow it out. So it just is growing it out like about this much. Nope, too much. All right, and then delete hidden. So that kind of did what I wanted it to do. So I basically have this piece. Let me turn double on so I can see inside. Okay, and the edges still have a curl to them, which I don't really want. But I guess I could get away with it. Delete hidden, and then I can just make this kind of come out. All right, so that previous piece is still there. I'm just going to hide it for now, and then I'm going to see, yeah, I think this will work. Thing is, you know, if you work with a human character, you always there are areas that, you know, that you have to work on that are, you know, more private areas, I guess, for lack of a better word. All right. Okay. All right, so now I've got that. I can add some more subdivision levels to it, and I can do a little bit of kind of sharpening of certain areas. UVing this thing is going to be pretty simple. Let's see. Sean is asking if the Shogun thing, if the Shogun thing is related to the original TV series. They're both based on the same book. They're both based on James Clavell's book, which I've read. I read it when I was a teenager, as a matter of fact, and I loved it. So they're both based on the same book. The first one was kind of whitewashed, in my opinion. This one was a little bit more authentic. I like the fact, you know, in the first one, the first TV series, they all spoke English. And this one, Japanese people spoke Japanese. And not only that, but they also spoke Old Japanese, which is a little bit different than modern Japanese. So it was very beautiful and very elegant. So it is related in that way, but it is a completely, it's more, I think it's more true to the book, and it's a lot more authentic. Oh, can I post the links? Okay, so do you still want me to post the links, or did you get them? Okay, so Sean is asking me if I'm an independent artist or if I'm part of a group or a company. I mostly work freelance, and I currently work freelance, but sometimes I work for companies. Sometimes I'm contracted. Sometimes oh no. Okay, let's see if it, yeah, okay, so it's trying to save it. Sometimes I work for companies. Sometimes I contract with companies. Most of the time I work freelance. And I did have a full-time job there for a while with a company that, you know, really wanted, the only way they'd work with me is if I worked for them full-time, which was fine. But yeah, it depends. All right, so let's see how well we recover from this. It should be fine. Just need to do a few things before we get going. All right, how are we doing on time? Oh, wow, doing good. What is going on? Oh, it's still, sorry, it opened up the thing on another monitor. That's why it's complaining. But we'll have this sorted out in just a second here. All right, there it is. Of all the programs that I use, I think ZBrush recovers really well. If you watched last episode or two, I have some really recovered project. Okay, no. And this should be fine. Here we go. Right, let me just do the document shuffle here. So document new, no, document double, dry dot, TF. Okay, let's change the background color real quick. And we are back in business. Oh, let's do an 8.5. We're back in business like nothing happened. All right, good, good, good. Hooah. All right, so now I'm just going to use the knife curve to cut out some of these edges, because I do want to have this thing to have thickness, but I don't want it to be rounded at this point in time. Oh, multiple subdivision levels. Let's go to subdivision level 1, delete higher. Like that. Okay, and then we'll just... That's so weird. Sometimes knife cuts... Oh, you know what? Yeah, because... do I have split to parts? No. Yeah, split to parts. I don't want it to split parts. Okay, let's just see if it does it now. Yeah, sometimes the knife tool doesn't cut through. Like, I don't know why. I'm sure there's a reason. But knife, curve, knife... Let's try knife lasso. Yeah, it just is drawing a line through it. I don't know why it is doing that, but there's other ways I can do this exact same thing. So I'm just going to go ahead and do clip, curve, clip, clip, clip. Where are you? Trim curve. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, the problem with this is it doesn't do... it doesn't mirror it, even though I have symmetry on, it does not mirror. And also it fills it in, but that's okay. So I'm just going to do one side and then mirror it over. So I'm just going to go this way. I think I need to go all the way around, which is fine. No, it doesn't want to do it. What if I just cut? All right, so here's a nifty trick. There's a thing called delete by symmetry. Delete by symmetry. Okay, of course it does the other side. I just need to mirror it first. Delete by symmetry. Okay, and that gives me this, and then I can just... There we go. Now I'm not really worried about the stuff that is filling in here because it's giving it its own polygroup, so I can get rid of it easily. But there was a question before all this mess started, so let me just get to it in a minute here. Here I'm just kind of trying to get this to like not have that inward turning curve, and I think I got what I need. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to need this. Oh. Let's let's get this back into select. Let's select this part, delete hidden. We don't need the other polygroups, and this is exactly what I want. And I'm going to mirror and weld it to the other side and get this. And here we go. And then just zero mesh this one more time. I should get what I need. Yeah, symmetry is on. Let's zero mesh it at half. One more time. I don't know why it wants to keep this area in the middle, but that's fine. Okay, good. All right, so now that I've got this piece the way I want it, let's add, excuse me, some subdivision levels to it. And if I now go ahead and do dynamic and add some thickness to it, I should get this, and then let's offset it inwards, more thickness like that, and 2 smooth subdivision levels is fine. And let's see what that looks like. I think that's looking good, more or less, but I need to do a little bit of more tweaking over here. Again, the piece I'm working on is very low geometry, so it shouldn't be a big deal. And I want this to kind of be underneath the belt, below the belt, so to speak. All right, somebody was asking me a question. High school teacher, having to teach ZBrush to my students, and I'm looking for an artist information for my students. Okay, Sean, I don't know how I can help there. At Sean Abel is great that the school do teach ZBrush at high school. Yeah, definitely. The younger, the better. Kids tend to learn things a lot faster than adults do. I don't know though if I would start with ZBrush. I might start with like some fundamentals first. I mean, I would start probably with Blender, but once they understand some of the concepts, and then I think is a good time to. There's this weird little thing happening here with the intersection, and I think that's because of this, so I probably should set this to 0. And let's zero mesh this one more time. One, delete higher, not dynamic, and kind of area in the middle here is kind of where it's having that weird tweak, so we can fix that. All right, how are we doing on time? 8:30, fantastic, good. All right, so now let's go ahead and take a look and see how this is coming along. That's looking okay. And I want this to maybe go a little bit over. Like that. I used to teach a beginner's ZBrush class at Otis College of Art and Design, and nope, don't crash. Here we go. Nope, it's not crashing. Yay. Something happened with the tablet driver. Maybe. Let me just restart it. So strange. I might need to restart ZBrush, but while I'm doing that, I'm just going to do a quick save just to be safe. And while that's happening, I'm just going to go ahead and you might get a blank screen for a minute. Actually, here, I'll do this real quick. Stand by. Let's see if this fixes it. No. Well, that's weird. All right. I'm going to try and do one other thing here. Sorry about this, guys. I'll be back in just a second. Experiencing a bit of technical difficulties. Let's just end this and let's restart it. All right, back in business. Still a bit touch and go. Still not 100%, but I'm sure we'll get there. All right. Yeah, something funky is happening with the tablet driver. All right, so I don't know if I want to spend more time trying to figure this. I mean, it's there. Let me see if there's a option here. There's one more thing I can do. I just downloaded a new driver for the thing today. Let's go ahead and do a check. I'm going to restart the driver one more time. Hopefully that'll do it. Okay, good. Does it recognize my pen? Does. Somehow the clicks are not registering. This is very, very odd. All right. Well, instead of doing this, I'm going to do a couple of things, and then we'll end a little bit early today. I apologize for that. But, you know, the only other way I can think of fixing this is rebooting, and I don't want to jump off this stream and come back. We can also give it a little bit of time. Maybe it'll figure itself out. But yeah, for some reason, something funky's happening with the pen. Actually, let's try one other thing here. I'm going to try one more thing, and maybe that'll solve the problem. All right, we are minutes from knowing if this is going to work or not. Okay. Yeah, very strange. All right, maybe it's an issue with this new driver. All right, no worries. I can just use my mouse for the rest of this. But I'll just give you a little bit of a preview of something we're going to do next week. And we're going to use this new plugin that I got. called what's going on? Here it is. Okay. Called ZTexturator, and it's a really nice plugin for ZBrush. Let's see. I've been saying since years ago I started programming in high school. Okay. Yeah. All right. Definitely. Some people seem to want to start at a younger age. I think starting at a younger age is a really good idea. Okay, so here I've got this piece, and if I want to texture it, I'm going to use this plugin that I'm learning currently. I do still have to work out some things in it, but I'm going to be using it to texture the sky. Excuse me. All right, and the plugin is called ZTexturator, and it's this one right here. And after I launch it, it's going to completely change my UI back to the normal UI. That's something I need to figure out how to get my UI to work with this, but I'll go ahead and just start it. So this is it, ZTexturator, like that. And basically you just start out, and this thing is going to blow you guys' mind away. It's really, really cool. So you have to have an object that has UVs on it. I mean, it will give you the option to create UVs if you want to. And then you can choose these materials, right? And this is so cool to have in ZBrush. And I'm just going to go ahead and start with this different one. Okay, I guess I don't have UVs with this. So I'm just going to escape out real quick and go to UV Master. Oh, I guess I need to exit this first. Okay, settings default, no. Okay, done. Let me just UV this before. I thought I did UV it, but I guess I didn't. So really easy thing to do. UV master, UV master, symmetry, polygroups. Okay, unwrap. And let's see what that did. Let's just pop a texture on it. There it is. Oh, not that texture. This texture. Okay, and that's pretty decent. Let's do one more. Kind of see a little bit of stretching over here, but let's see what this morphs out into. Okay, so it's morphing it out onto put the seam in a decent place. Let's see again. Yeah, there's a little bit extra stretching here that I don't like, but for the most part, I think it's okay. Let me delete the UVs and redo it. Maybe without polygroups and maybe without symmetry. Maybe that'll do a better job. Nope. Okay, I think this is as good as we're going to get with UV Master, which is fine. I can, do some tricks here to make it better, but for just our kind of purpose today, I'm just going to leave it at this. Okay, so now that we've got some UVs on this, let's take the texture off. Okay, good, and then here we are. And again, remember this thing has 6 subdivision levels, and at the 6th subdivision level, it's got all these details. All right, so back to ZTexturator. Let's launch it. Advanced. And we will go to the library. We'll pick metal. We'll pick the first one. And we will get that material, and we will keep the scale and continue. And we're just going to create a new material. And so it kind of asks us which kind of shape we have. And it's a rounded shape, so let's choose that. And, it just does its thing for a minute. Adds some things to it. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. I forgot that I've got the standby thing on this whole time. All right, I'll just redo this. Well, just a second. All right, sorry about that. I had the standby thing. But basically, I'll run through this again one more time. But it doesn't matter. You guys are just going to see the result anyway. I mean, it's kind of been this. But basically, I just launched a plugin, and the plugin gives me these different materials that I can choose. And I chose metal, and I chose this first one. And right now, it's going ahead and applying that to my model. The only thing that I did before that was I UV'd the model. It's just a part of the helmet. And you notice that it changed my UI back to the normal ZBrush UI. Okay, so it's doing it, and there it is. So you can see here that it basically textured my material for me, and it did kind of the curvature map. So it's got these nice kind of dents over here, and I can edit this. So I'm going to choose a different one. I'm going to go ahead and choose this red one over here. Let's try this one. Let's see what that happens. Okay, so we're just going to get that one. Keep the scale, continue, and then create a new material, rounded. And this is basically all I did. So this is what you guys missed. It's just I picked a material and then I went through those dialog boxes. And again, I'm learning this thing. I just got it. So, you know, next time I'm going to be using this extensively to texture the model. Hopefully I'll have it UV'd. Hopefully I'll have some downtime to UV it. So I'll be doing a lot of this next time. All right, so right now it's just applying a shader. It's figuring out the curvature, and there it is. And this looks pretty good just for one button press. The plugin is called ZTexturator, and I'll type it down here. You can Google it. And I'll be giving the link and all that stuff next time. I'll see if you know, we can do a discount or something like that for people who are watching the stream. I'll talk to the developer. But yeah, so this is kind of a good way to start. But let's say I don't want this red. I don't want my model to be red here. So I'm going to go ahead and go into shading here. And you notice here that it basically has this kind of quad shader. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the one that has the color. And I think it's this one. Let's make sure. Okay, is it this one? No, I think it's this one. It's turned off. Yep. Okay, so there it is. And so let's say I don't want this orange, but I want a different color, so I can just kind of change the hue here. There's kind of a greenish color, bluish color. So I can just kind of go and pick the color that I want. So I'm going to go for maybe like a green. Or like a gray, maybe like a dark gray, like something like this. Okay, so that's kind of nice. It has this kind of nice rusty look to it. And here it is with the rest of the model. So you can kind of get an idea of how cool this thing is going to look once I have all of these materials made for the model. Right, so let's solo this back and let's do some extra work on here. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do. I mean, this is all basically ZBrush material stuff. So you can turn off, it's using the quad shader. So this is basically the shader that's doing the kind of the top part. This one is the color. This one seems to be just kind of these inside parts, and then let's see what 4 is. Okay, so 4 is this kind of diffuse, and I can make that a little bit darker too, a darker gray. Here we go. All right, and you can see here that it does have like some of the materials, since it's quad shaded, some of the materials do have more reflectivity than others do. So let's say this is kind of the look that I'm going for, but maybe I don't want it to be this kind of rusty. So I can go ahead and in this setting here, I can go ahead and choose the paintbrush. So I don't know if it's this one. I think I can. I think there was a way. Again, I'm new to this, so and I'm going to turn symmetry off here. Oops. And again, my hotkeys don't work, so I have to go ahead and turn symmetry off here in the menu. And I think if I choose the material here, I should be, nope, I'm sculpting. Let me go to standard brush. Standard, where are you? Turn on Z add and just turn on RGB. And you can see here I'm just painting on here, but I think you can, depending on what level you're on, you can just choose that color. Okay, so that's S1. Let's see, S2. Yeah, I forget how to do this, but basically you can go in and edit the different colors individually. And like if you don't want it to be this kind of beat up, you can change it. But yeah, that's basically how you, let's go ahead and choose a lighter color for the model. So that's basically how you can do it. And let me choose a color again for this. Let's go ahead again with a kind of a maybe a green color like this, darker, something like that. So yeah, I can just go ahead and texture this whole model using this method. And I think you can export out these maps. So you can render this in ZBrush. So if you just do a BPR, you should get a decent render. But it doesn't translate well to Redshift, obviously, because it's not a Redshift material. It's using ZBrush's quad shader material. Right, so there it is. Yeah, I think that's kind of, I wanted to just kind of show this a little bit. You know, and then next time we'll go into it a little bit more. So here I'm just going to go ahead and I guess I've got about 10 more minutes. I can play around with this a little bit more, see, you know, do some discovery of the kind of color I want, maybe less saturated. I wonder what, like if I chose a whiter, you know, like white as a color for this, if it would look cool. Let's do BPR real quick. Super saturated. And you can have things look more metallic too. Like for example, if you want this to be more metallic, you can just make the specular the same color and just make it lighter. And that makes it more kind of metallic. Yeah, but basically it's kind of like, you know, the Adobe Substance Painter kind of capabilities right here in ZBrush. And it's a really cool way to do these things. All right, that's good. And then I don't know if I've got UVs on this top part, but I don't want to get back out of here. And then so, you know, after you're done doing all this stuff, you just go to Exporter and you just basically can export these textures individually. So, you know, you basically have a main and a cavity and a peak and a curve and all these different textures. It makes the alphas for you, so it works out really well. And I think I'm trying to remember. Trying to remember how to, yeah, there's a painting thing right here. Yeah, this is, I think, the where you painted. So like if you've got UV seams, there's a way to get rid of them. Yeah, so trying to see where the you can play around with the lighting and the viewport settings and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean it's kind of a really nice tool, but again, I just got it and it's got a lot of options. I'm still learning all the different ones just from the basic amount of information that's out there about it. But hopefully next time I'll do more of a deep dive, and I'm definitely going to be using this to texture this model. I think it'll look really, really cool with these capabilities. All right, so with that, I'm just going to go ahead and exit this plugin, and now I'm back in ZBrush, and notice that it just basically brought the paint over as a material in ZBrush, and so I can just resume my work and continue doing what I was doing in here. Okay, so that kind of brings us to the end of this stream. I will wait a few minutes to see if you guys have any last questions to ask, and if you do, this would be a good time to do it. I'll wait a few more minutes. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'll just wait a few more minutes for questions, and if there are none, then we'll end this one here, and I'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Go ahead and do a BPR render. Something up close. Yeah, I think this is going to look pretty good. And again, there's ways of changing the amount of color paint there is. Yeah, maybe I'll go back and do that. So here, I'll jump back into Texturator. So I can do a few more minutes. Z Texturator. Oh, it did it pretty fast. And so what I'm going to do this time is I'm just going to do a different material. See, they have metal, stone, wood, plastic. Let's do plastic one. Let's do this one right here. Get, continue, new material, round it again. And after you do it the first time, it does it a lot faster. So here we go. It's kind of applying the masks and all that stuff, and I'll get the thing in a minute. All right, it seems like you guys don't have too many questions, so that's great. All right, I guess this is interesting. More or less. I don't really like it that much. Let's try a different one. Get, continue, new, rounded. Let's see if this one's any better. All right, here we go. Yeah, this actually looks pretty good. It's weird, but it's got this weird seam here, and I wonder if this is the UV seam. But this will be a good time to show you how this fixes it. So here, we'll go to painting. And we will choose this blur seams. And let's see if that does it. I wonder if this is a texture seam. It's not my UVs. I don't think my UVs had a seam right smack in the middle of it. But let's see if this makes it any better. Okay, yeah, that wasn't it. I think the texture itself has this line, which is kind of weird. Okay, let's just choose a different material. I think I'm going to go back to metals. And let's choose, how about, let's choose this one. Get, continue, and new. Rounded is fine. But yeah, I mean, it's such a great thing to be able to do this. I just hope I can figure out a workflow so that it's a lot faster. I wonder if it did put the scene right in the middle of the UVs. Okay, this one's looking pretty good. Oh yeah. And you can kind of see the little specular highlights as I rotate this. Yeah, this looks great. And so the other thing I wanted to talk about before I got off the stream here is with the shading, with these shaders, what you could do is you could kind of go in here and play around with the cavity. So you can have less and more or less of something. So here, let's see what I'm on 1. Let's go to 2 here, shader number 2, and let's play around with this cavity. So you can see here, this is kind of the paint, and I'm choosing how much of it I'm having on there. Right? This is kind of like the dust layer that's on top. And then what about this one? I can mess around with this one as well. And this is the metal underneath. So I can choose more of that metal to show based on the cavity. Not the cavity, but the curvature. Sorry. And there's this one, just kind of the rust or the weathering. Right, I think the first one is, I think this one is the paint. So so here it's kind of less or more of that kind of paint showing. Right, so there it is, and then if I bring the rest of the model, you know, this is kind of what it looks like, and it just immediately makes it look so much cooler. And again, all these maps can be exported, and then you can reconnect them in Unreal or whatever your tool is of choice. Okay. So 512 is a drop down metallic black white value. Okay, so what we're looking at here is metallic. The metallicity, is that what we're talking about? Here, let me solo this out again. So the metal black white value, I don't know which one. I think, is it the metallicity? Yeah, this basically makes something more metal, less metal. Let's see what this does. Here, there's this one. I don't see much of a difference right away. Oh, okay. I guess 512 Design has used this before, so yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so again, we'll, you know, I'll get a lot of these questions that I have about this answered by the developers, and I will texture this model and kind of be able to share more details about it with you all next time. Oh, you use Substance Painter. I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, so probably a lot of these are more like Substance Painter. Again, I kind of want this to be as automatic as possible. All I want to do is maybe paint out some areas that I don't need the detail on. But basically, having this kind of capability in ZBrush is a welcome capability. And, you know, there's a great ecosystem around the product that basically makes these kinds of things, and it's always good to kind of keep up on them. I try to get as many of them as I can and be up on all of them. So, but the unwrapping is annoying, but I think you can use automatic UVs as well. But it takes ages to unwrap your model. You know, not really. I mean, as compared to before, It's not bad, and UV Master really helps. All right, folks, it's 9 o'clock. Thank you again for tuning in. I think today was kind of an interesting day. We kind of did more modeling. I think I'm going to do just a little bit more off camera and UV as much of this as I can, and then hopefully next time we will just be doing the texturing, and then after we're done with that, we'll do the posing, and after we're done with that, we'll do a nice render, and that would be it. Okay, so thanks again, and we will see you all in 2 weeks. Happy ZBrush.